or to Senenkole this afternoon. It's been a long time since this county administration called for an audit probe, a compliance audit probe, and over the time I've been accused by members of the community, members of the food estate, that we're intentionally concealing the results of the audit. And I've come today to say, consistent with what I've always told you, that audit is a process, and that I was acting on instructions from the GSC. And once it was time to be released, the audit will be released. So I'm just happy that we've seen this to a fruitful end.
So generally, what are your feelings about the report?
Disappointing. Disappointing, but then what we hoped to achieve was building a system for the Nima County administration, which is the way forward. For us, when we took over, it was clear that there were no systems in place, no manuals, a lot of procedure errors, and we just wanted to know where we were taking out from. And we went back a few years asking the Auditor General to please help us understand where we were. And the audit was granted on a free basis. And we have been complying with them. Now we have the results. Unfortunately for what happened, we were slammed with an adverse conclusion, which is the worst form of audit results you have. But I'm glad we're at a stage where the GSC is working on us to make sure we have made progress since we took over in terms of setting in systems, manuals, procedures, but they will be coming to look over that and see how we can enhance our system so that plus me minus me, some of what we saw that was grossly unpatriotic can no longer happen to this county.
Madam Superintendent, my name is Jerry T. Myers. I report for Radio Nimba. When the report came out, we have been speaking with some members of the PMC, former officials. And what one person said was that when the audit was done at the initial stage, they were invited for questioning. But after that, when we reached the stage of responding to some of the inquiries, they never had a time. They were not invited, and you were the one who responded instead of them.
seeing this to a fruitful end.
So generally, what are your feelings about the report?
Disappointing. Disappointing, but then what we hoped to achieve was building a system for the Nima County administration, which is the way forward. For us, when we took over, it was clear that there were no systems in place, no manuals, a lot of procedure errors, and we just wanted to know where we were taking out from. And we went back a few years asking the Auditor General to please help us understand where we were. And the audit was granted on a free basis. And we have been complying with them. Now we have the results. Unfortunately for what happened, we were slammed with an adverse conclusion, which is the worst form of audit results you have. But I'm glad we're at a stage where the GSC is working on us to make sure we have made progress since we took over in terms of setting in systems, manuals, procedures, but they will be coming to look over that and see how we can enhance our system so that plus me minus me, some of what we saw that was grossly unpatriotic can no longer happen to this county.
Madam Superintendent, my name is Jerry T. Myers. I report for Radio Nimba. When the report came out, we have been speaking with some members of the PMC, former officials. And what one person said was that when the audit was done at the initial stage, they were invited for questioning. But after that, when we reached the stage of responding to some of the inquiries, they never had a time. They were not invited, and you were the one who responded instead of them, and you were not on top of their workings. Can you clarify that? Did you respond to the GAC on behalf of the past administration?
No, so that is very much wrong. First of all, I would like to give hats up today for the first time I did to my team, my office team, even my communication consultant, Chester Dolo. These were people who had information. They had this information in the responsive stage and remain away from the public. So today I was just like, what a fun team I have. So as the audit went, a lot of people, a lot of those key directors were called. Jerry, they never showed up. Some of them did the first 1 or 2 times. There were times the GAC would call and they would say, we need a respondent. But at that time, when the audit had gone far, the respondent was head of administration. It was not every director they talked to again. So that time they were talking to the superintendents. They were not talking to everyone that they talked to in the beginning stages. And it was until the end when we as a county was asked to respond, this administration, because what they're saying so for example, we didn't meet this year, these are progress we were making. So it was not answering for them. It was technically answering for us.
Okay.
So, but they were given the authority, the opportunity, but the time they came back for that response, it was for the head of entity at the time.
Okay.
And so my name is Victor T. Cooper. I'm his own correspondent in Nimba County. The result is out. People in the public are anticipating prosecution.
OKFN and the other team of media practitioner, we are privileged to be in conversation with Grand Jida County Senator Zoe Mapiano. On today, he raised an issue with regards to the Jipani.
The result is ours. People in the public are anticipating persecution. Being the head of the county, are you also looking up to persecution?
Thank you. That's a very good question. And like I said, when we asked for the compliance audit, our primary objective was to put in place systems. There was two sides to it. The NEMA people have been caught in. There was an outcry when I got here. One. But for us, it was, where do we start? Have the documents gone, no system in place, we don't understand where we are, no smooth transition. We needed to know. By right, this audit should have been called for by the legislature because they have the oversight. But because we wanted to start on a good footing, we went ahead and called for the probe. Now you have the Legislative Public Accounts Committee. They should be pushing for it. Since this has been out, I have not had the time to sit with the NEMA Legislative Caucus, with the Attorney General, County Attorney, and all of that. But what I do know is the public accounts, that's why the Auditor General said, wait until I present this to the National Legislature. They should be looking at it. I'll be expecting to hear from our caucus. And when that time comes, just like I said before, the audit results will be given when it's in due time. Once I have all of that information, I will be coming back to speak to the people in NEMA.
Madam Superintendent, you propose this audit, according to you, to know where those who served before you made mistakes so that you can follow the same path. With your review of the audit report that has been released, what lessons have you learned from the report?
So this report, let me just take you to the time I received this report. Did not receive it online like you or by the document. I got the document and then I have a PowerPoint presentation by the Auditor General himself. Face by face by face. My team and I. And yes, I will tell you something. There are some procedure errors we can see. There are some errors, like even if you go to Monrovia, you go to agencies that have had money put into compliance studies, you still see shortfalls in the system. In most Leeward County system, you will see it. That's not what baffled me. What baffled me was some of the most unpatriotic actions. And this is why we're saying that should not happen to NEMA or anywhere. And for me, I would tell you, if you came today and you audited this administration, will you find some procedure errors? Highly likely. But certain gross violation, financial violation, will not just happen, not only under me, but I believe with this precedence, it may not even happen under the next superintendent. For example, the over-the-counter $2 million plus check that the fiscal affairs say Musa talked about, for me, that was just it for me. For me, that's the biggest violation. And when he talked about it, I remember coming to the county earlier when he said about it, everybody refuted it. And the reason was it did not make sense that someone would do that to a whole county in that amount. And you know, looking at this county, looking at the situation of our people, looking at how underdeveloped our county is, there was not even a seat of government functioning. And with that amount, to say someone took it off the counter, and when Musa was talking at the time, he said he gave it to the legislators, it sounded nearly impossible to comprehend or believe. So when I'm sitting and the Auditor General says $2 million removed, not for any goods or service, directly out of the account, I'm like, this is a redemption for the former fiscal affairs, Musa, when he said this. And for me, that was the most astonishing thing that should never happen. Well, one person goes, withdraw huge money, give it to legislators, or give it to anybody for that matter. Whether they give it to them, that's what he said. But at least one part of what he said is true, that that money was withdrawn from our coffers. So it's something that we wish Jerry would never happen.
So my name is Mavi Konan. I report for NEMA TV. So what's your measures to those who see this entire report as a witch hunt? And so now the report is out. what the next step to call those involved to order for investigation to clear that up?
So I wouldn't. If anyone sees it as a witch hunt, it's very unfortunate. It covered a large about from 2018 to 2023. It's not just one superintendent that we're going after. And at the time this audit was done, let me quite frankly tell you, I had come new to the county. I did not know a lot of things. I did not know who did what. I did not suspect anybody did anything. So when we did it, we just wanted to know where we were. Did I think that we will have phone lapses? Absolutely, because in any financial system, it's very likely. Did I think we will have phone financial discrepancies? Yes. And then we'll have manuals to work on for where over the counter our county money will be withdrawn. I never expected that. So it's not a witch hunt. And like I said, now that it was actually done for compliance, for building our system. Now where it is, I will need to consult with the NEMA Legislative Caucus, our NEMA stakeholders, and we will inform you on the way
How
forward.
soon? How soon?
Pretty soon.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, following the audit findings, there were different observations according to the report, and there were also recommendations provided by the GAC. Are you considering them?
So even before the final report, we started considering the recommendations, because as the people were auditing and speaking, they was letting us know, for example, you do not have this, you do not have that. We started to work with that. You know, we've also been doing a lot of government trainings that bringing the light some of this. But most importantly, if you look at our report, a team is going to be sent to NEMA that is going to further look at the objective of us probing. What do we do? What do we put in place that, you know, our county is managed in a much professional way?
Honorable Superintendent, still on this, the response to the audit, there is this claim that the report, the figure in the report, like 12 million missing, is being exaggerated, because according to one of the officials who spoke on condition of anonymity, the last time the held county sitting, the budget was 2.7 million in 2020. So there wasn't any county sitting until they left. Now, when they were leaving office, according to him, they left 3.4 million that you inherited or you met. Can you confirm as to whether there were 3.4 million in the budget when you took over?
No, I don't want to speak definitively, but I can't remember, but it was around 2 million.
2 million.
Yes, but there are different accounts. Like I said, I don't want to go and investigate people. The investigators investigated professionally.
Okay.
So I think that's where we're looking at. But with the over-the-counter, like I said, GSC was not the first to say it. Same Musa said it. Did we all believe it? No, because it just sounded nearly impossible for someone to do that single-handedly to a county's account without any supporting document, because the money was not intended for any goods or service.
In terms of prosecution, there are some people who say Doug Cooper supports this government. He served as superintendent. His name is in this report. In terms of prosecution, people are saying he will be shielded.
Well, I don't know, because I'm not a prosecutor and we're not there yet, but that shows again the unbiased nature of our probe. Because if, like I said, we didn't go in there expecting to witch hunt anybody. We just wanted to understand what the system was, so that we know where we're heading. And if you look at it, different people play different roles. Some less significant, some more significant. So at the end of the day, when I see one person withdraw $2 million, it stands out. But I'm not the person to do that. What I wanted to know is where we stand, what needs to be done, how much help this county can get, so that even after me, we have a system in place that and able to control certain action. And I must thank this government. The government is making a lot of efforts to be able to stop some of these practices. Like now, for example, we are going on e-procurement. I will be passing around Monrovia and someone said, "Oh, NIMBA, we see you are advertising all of this." People who are not even from NIMBA, just because they've seen it on the platform. And most of our transactions, that's an audit by itself, because every contractor is going to be giving everything that we'll be doing will be public and on the platform. So I think as most systems are built, that's where we should we should follow. Because when you see these things happen, it don't happen in other places. It's not that the people in other places have better morals. There are caution. There are systems that prohibits them. There are systems that scare them. And with the way this government is proceeding, e-procurement, other steps in place, and what we're doing to correct some of the wrongs that we made, errors will always happen, but never at this extent. Never surely happen to any county.
Madam Superintendent, my name is Melish Bo. I report for NIMA D9 TV and Radio Cyclopedia. Many see this as a party line that they say maybe from 2018 to 2021, somebody was serving in the unity party.
Exactly.
So it's okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Well, but that it was never done for that. Like I said, if you look at the former superintendent Okobo, he's like a father to me. I mean, I have a lot of respect for. At the end of the day, we were just trying to look back as far as we can to see where there was system, where there were broken systems, how do we learn from it. And as a county administration, that's our focus. Like I said, the public accounts will come in place, we will talk to NIMA stakeholders, but as a superintendent, our probe was, we just entered this environment. There were already no records. At that time, we were calling the past administration to give us records. There were no records. How do we go from here? How do we build a system? The first thing, order the system, build the system. That was it. And some of the discovery, what I know, it should serve as a deterrence that it doesn't happen again. And even with institutions that were even doing over the counter of 50, 60,000, we were saying you cannot operate like this. Then what you about millions, to do that, I show that at the end of the day, what are your consequences with the LACC, with the GSC, with courts? The consequences will always be in your mind. And you do not do that to your people, you do not do that to your county. But for us, it's building a stronger county. Because our people need the resources, they need the development.
A final question. Manasu, this order just captured 2018 to 2023. So people in the public still anticipating what happened to 2018 to 2010. That's one of my questions. And another thing is the issue of the assisting of the auditing in this county. Whether it's going to be a simultaneous in the county or after the leadership is done.
Well, so you're talking about 2010 to 2018.
Yes.
We didn't ask for that. So I was just trying to go back. Usually people will go back 5-6 years. So it's a lot of money, it's a lot of work. Even though the Auditor General was, good to us, usually you pay when you request. It was a lot of money, it was a lot of work. Like I said, it was not to wish on anybody. It was like we want to see a trajectory of our system, if there's any system. And that's how we put in for that time frame. With this administration, yes, audit was even done in 2024. It will be released when the time comes, just how this took time. We were audited under the MIA along with the MIA as well. So it's a practice that will continue. We ourselves, we requested the IAA send us internal audit. Internal auditor is here and we are looking at our books, ensuring that some of the worst practices do not happen. But I'm happy today that for so long, people accused the superintendent shielding people, shielding the reports, and that the people of NIMA know that that is not true. I remember Christmas time, the end of the year, I had one of the worst ratings from Front Page Africa that I put in an audit. I refused to put out the audit report, but people said, look, this is time and this is a system. For us to be slammed with an adverse audit conclusion, it's not good for the county. We're going to work as an administration. We give you the guarantee that we are going to work on our system, put systems in place, that the kind of huge leakages that shames the county will not happen again. So
Finally, from my end on the suit, the other report also talk about projects that were initiated and they were not completed, but all the payment was done by the county administration. When you took over, what did you discover when it comes to completed projects?
So there were many of them. And then there were some people who even, again, lack of understanding, criticized the superintendent and said, these projects were here, she came, she's doing new projects, she's not looking at the projects. While the audit was going on, or while we were being audited, we were advised to leave those projects as it will be like tampering with evidence. For example, if you see the disabled place right here, the auditors captured the fact that they were never even door, windows, the project was paid for. At that time, trust me, when you get blind people, I wanted to take in those, but we were advised not to do so as part of the procedure. So now that the book is closed on it, we can sit as a county and start to see how we revisit, because even if we have paid for it, some money is still in it. So we must be able to evaluate what do we do going forward. So we'll still have to look at some of those projects.
Thank you so much, Manasu, for speaking with the press on this very important audit report.
Thank you, a pleasure.
The funds have been provided to Liberia, and the plan director took a decision to invite authorities of the Ministry of Commerce, Foreign Affairs to give more duty to regards to his issue that he raised today. He will tell us more about that. So welcome to the media.
Thank you very much.
Well, tell us what led to your issue you raised today.
To be frank with you, I've been in government for years, and I understand grants and loan from foreign countries. We believe when they say grants is for the Liberian people not to be paid back, and sometimes it's necessary to raise issue when you're not understanding something. Because I can remember for years, Japanese government been sending rice here to Liberian governments. When I say Liberian governments, even from the former president Ellen Johnson Sirleaf administration to former president George Manuel Weah to present government. That's what I'm saying, governments. And I believe very strongly that when these rice is sold out there, people use the money as if that a personal money. They're doing favor for Liberian people. This thing need to be said to the Liberian people to say, look, Japanese government gave up, for example, the past 12 years under President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf to say, look, during my 12-year administration, Japanese government gave up grants of rice about 2,000 to 3,000 metric ton, or 50,000 or 10,000 metric ton. I mean, those people do these things so people can pray for their countries. Like America, all the good American, we think America is great because she always out there helping people. Japanese, when you think people are great in technology, it's because the way they help other countries. So this thing, when people do the kind of thing, they need to be said to the public, so the public can know. Then we'll know what the money will be used for. For example, we that from the southeast, our role is our main concern. I think this is my colleague from Ground Crew today, Senator Batikwa. So when Japanese gave you rice to be sold for development, let's assume, and he said, look, we want to build a road from Ganta all the way to Maryland, Harper City. And every year, let's assume maybe you're getting $2 to $3 million worth of rice from Japanese government. You got that every year thing. In 6 years, if you give a contract or contractor to sign an agreement with the Liberian government to say, look, from Ganta all the way to Harper, we will build a road in 6 to 8 years. 6 to 8 years, and every time you get a grant from Japanese government, you sell the rice, even at $700,000 to $800,000, $1 million, you pay the contractor, he or she will continue to do the work on our highway. But nothing like that was done. So the millions of dollars that was sent in by the Japanese, where is the money? What can they point out in Liberia from Japanese grant? Let Liberian government, the past and present. We heard that they started the same thing with the present government. So definitely from the investigation will know. If last year, if Japanese sent another rice, from the investigation will know. this year, within the first quarter of this year, if rice arrive, we will know. But I believe, a people's senator, I believe that Liberian people are not feel the impact of the Japanese grain.
Wow. So is it that authorities of these different ministries that in front of this entire grant should come before the committee that is the plenary?
I said it today.
Yeah.
The former ministers, even from former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and former President George Weah, and present ministers, Commerce, Foreign Affairs, because we believe very strongly that with the rice issue, the Foreign Affairs will go do the international negotiation, everything. But when the rice is set in the country, the Foreign Affairs will direct the message to Commerce to handle the market aspect of it. And I believe all the rights are given to importers.
Wow.
And then investigation, it will be a very deep investigation.
So someone may be asking, what is it that you are raising this now at the moment that you want the Senate to act on your claims right now?
Well, to be frank with you, I'm a traditional person. I'm from the Southeast. We have our children, we go there until everything has time.
Okay.
And when sometimes if you have a plum tree in your yard, when it's bare, it's not red, you can't just pick it. So you see any legislator or the legislators, when they raise an issue on the floor, it means they have a lot of evidence. So we are people's leaders. When we speak, the people should see the reality and the fact in it. So you're not just we're going to be talking because you want to talk. At the end, when you're speaking, they'll say, oh, that man can't talk with reality. Man, call on my radio, my son. Let me go find something else to do. But when we speak with reality. After finishing doing our research. So just wait and see. This Japanese rice, NACC, GAC, everybody will get involved.
So you smell some kind of foul play or some kind of dubious means?
I just told you in my first sentence that as far as I'm concerned, the rice that was brought in from Japan, Liberian people are not feel the impact. I just said it. I'm not saying maybe, but I'm telling you, I served in the House of Representatives for 15 years. Now in my 4th year in the Senate. I'm telling you, I'm not asking you. Maybe someone will take millions of dollars and go and build kitchen somewhere and say, I'm a personal thing. But say to the public, the rice that Japanese sent us, we sold it and we do this. And we did this with it. That's what we want to know.
What the last time we checked, you raised another debate, this time at the Samuel Kando Sports Complex and other park that you want the Senate to act on, and the Senate is looking into that as well. What specifically led to that? And that issue was raised by Senator Sir Joseph, and you also buttressed on it.
Yes, because I feel that look past the generating revenue, and we're talking about budget increasement. You understand?
Yeah.
And now schools are going to be visible park to go play football game, volleyball, basketball. You name all the sports that you're thinking about. They pay. So if Liberian government, NRA is collecting money from that, or if an individual, that's what we want to know. Because people, they project in this place in that need. And we believe that most of the money came from taxpayers. And today, who is controlling those institutions? Because it's generating revenue. So we want to know. Like, for example, I know the place we call Redemption Road. They park from Redemption Road. You understand? Behind BTC.
Is it the PHP park you're talking about?
PHP park.
Okay.
You understand? It's generating money too. So who owns this park? And we believe it's taxpayer money. So who's managing those things? Where's the revenue that comes to the government? So when my colleague from Monserrado, Honorable Sir A. Joseph, when he raised the issue, we decided to buttress the issue by buttressing a statement that this thing needs to be investigated the right way, so the Liberian people can know. Because at the end, people see reality, they say, oh, the law may not be anything. Oh, that because of you, the people doing this to us. So when we raise the issue, you live with the citizens to see the reality in it. When it rise, I stand to be corrected. As far as I'm concerned, the Japanese rights, they're great. We that are in the southeast, we believe that as far as we are concerned, nothing came to this country for we that are in the southeast, because we know very well that the rights, the millions of beds of rights that came to the country will bear our role.
But yesterday, the coordinator for that program at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs were on OK, where he announced that interns, when they bring the rest, they sell it and the proceeds goes toward development. Like he made specific reference to like the Douala market, like the Ominka market, which he said that at times they refer that to a WIA project, but these were some of the money that went beyond this. And the host of that show keep asking, what is it that you guys didn't make it known? Is it something that you guys are willing to go beyond this to have it investigated to know why all of the proceeds went?
Well, to be frank with you, I just said Japanese government sent a rice here. If the rice was sold correctly, talk about millions of dollars. Beyond building market for 200-300% to go stay on to sell bitter. We talk about millions. We're not talking about no market in Liberia, no market. On a free construction bid without corruption, no market in Liberia, as far as concerned, that cost money 300,000 to 400,000. I still to be corrected, no market. I'm not talking about the China mobile, our traditional market, Douala market, Dupo Road, and you name it. As far as concerned, I'm not an engineer, but a serious engineer. Go out and bring a serious engineer and say, give an appraisal on this market. If it cross more than 600,000 or 500,000, I'll resign.
Some of your people believe that there are people who are watching will think that you are doing it to target out of the previous administration or so. How do you respond to them?
You listen to my sentence, you listen to my speech. I said, even this government, in the second year, so who knows that when I spoke to them on the floor, I said the past and present ministers
should be invited.
They should be invited. So who knows that last year the Japanese said rest? Because we, the legislators, we don't interfere with foreign policy. So our inquiry on the floor can make us to know what's going on in the executive, and we have our side. So no one will think I'm going after this person, that person. No. I'm talking about if we really see about development, the right that Japanese are selling in this country will build our road from Ganta straight to Hapo. That's what I'm trying to say. But as far as we are concerned, no impact fell from Japanese grant.
What the plenary reached a decision that by next week, report also should be on the floor with regards to that.
Yes, it has been sent to the committee. About two to three committees to go into the matter, and I believe my colleagues on the committees that they are efficient and they know they will go into it expeditiously, and hopefully by next week you'll be on the Senate floor and the issue will be debated. And I know those people, those former ministers and present ministers will be brought to plenary if the committee deem it necessary that they should come to plenary and face in plenary, full plenary. If the committee report says that somebody is held responsible, that's the time you will see the Liberian Senate wait.
Very good. Well, quite recently you were dealt in the Southeast, specifically your county. You normally go by road. You assess the different condition. And what have you come for? How is the people in Grand Jide? What did you observe going back to your people?
Well, I will repeat my statement again. This going rain season, I said it, and I know what I've been going through, and what I went through. As we speak, I was in Grand Jide last Sunday. I returned on Monday. This coming Monday, I returned on Grand Jide. I went all the way to Queen Elizabeth Ziastown, Queen Elizabeth Statutory District, and the statutory headquarters, Ziastown. Zia City, I was there.
You said the end of the...
The end all the way Temple Bola.
Okay.
But from Ziastown to Temple Bola, It's about almost 2 to 3 hour drive. So I never went to the border. But Siasta is one of the biggest towns in Grand Jida County, next to Zwedru. So I was there for almost 2 days, and I explored the road. Moreover, from Ganta to Sekepie. That portion of the road, 2022, 2023, we saw contractors on the road. But immediately after election, 2023 election, I don't know what started the project. And now, so that place started going bad. When I went in December 17 to December 2010, when I was in Grand Jida, in between the problem, the road is bad between Ganta and Sekepie. But when the government came to power, 2024 to present, from Sekepie to Tapeta, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not an engineer, nobody should judge me by the percentage, but the one I drove on, from Sekepie to Tapeta, as we speak, they're almost 75 to 80% completion, this government project. So I believe when I spoke with one of the assistant ministers from Public Works,
yeah.
and he told me, he assured me, he said, Senator, I can assure you that as we speak, the project that you talk about, I asked him, I said 2023, 2022, I saw a contractor between Sekepie and Ganta, but since that time they start, he said yes, because there was no funding for that, but this government, again, trying our best, and we're making progress, and the work will start soon. So I believe, I want to assure my citizens from the southeast, from Grand Jida County, I can assure them by the grace of the Almighty God, by 2026, 2027, I believe before 2029, no one going to use road as campaign again in the southeast. I believe. Because the Bobo, you agree, and you already agree with the south, from the southeast, we've been suffering for road for the past years. So now, our neighbor, because we pass through Nima to get to Grand Jida, and the stretch between Ganta to Tapeta, it's a distance. By the time you cross Tapeta, you're almost in Grand Jida. So if between there, in the next few months to come, when it's completed, we say hallelujah, because we believe. And from Tapeta to Grand Jida, the Minister of Public Works, I still to be correct, and most of you listened to him,
Yeah.
that the deal have been sealed from Total to the border, to Avoran border. The deal have been sealed, and they have the contractor. They have the two contractors that are going to handle the whole aspect from Tapeta to Total, from Total to the Avoran border. And now the bid is up from Total to Zwedru. So I believe by 2027, 2028, we say congratulations to the people of Grand Jida in the southeast.
Moving on paved road, is that what you mean?
Yes, as you speak from here to Grand Jida now, the only impediment right now, like I told you, and the minister has showed me that between Sekepie and Ganta, the government going to pay attention to it. So from Ganta, from Morovia, from Matale, from my resident, all the way to Tapeta, in the next 2 months, 3 months, I'll be driving quota.
What this issue about road is not only you. The last time we listened to Senator Nemenu Batikwa raising similar issue about road. How did you get this kind of faith that look before 2026, 2027, people in the southeast will once again rejoice in terms of moving on paved road?
Let me just tell you, my dear friend and brother, Rosebrain Development. You know that?
Yeah.
Rosebrain Development. That's why we want road connectivity in our area. Because, for example, like in my county, people in Bazon County, they have a lot of crops to be brought on the new road, or no road for it to be so. People are Queen Devil inside, no road. People from Giant Zone. Right now, in Grand Jude in the next 2 years. In the next 2 years, Grand Jude in cocoa will be number 1 or number 2 in Liberia in the next 2 years.
In terms of production of
In
cocoa.
terms of production of cocoa. But if no road, those things will stay in the bush and will get rotty. So that's why we continue. Every time I meet the president, that's my only appeal to the president.
The issue about road.
The issue about road. Mr. President, please don't forget about us.
Is it a demand of the Southeasterner?
100%. Today, anybody from the southeast, you get a diamond, you say, go set and fix my road. Anybody from Grand Jude, you get them gold, tons of gold, you say, go set it and build my road. Anybody from that region, anybody from the southeast, I don't feel a road. And that person is the main that witchcraft to the people of southeast.
How did you get the faith that this government will focus on the issue about road? How did you get it? Because there were previous government from Madam Seti up to present.
Well, in the first place, by 2024, immediately after the inauguration, they started the road from Tabata, from Segepi to Tabata. And you know the government, when it comes to infrastructure, only 6 months they have to work with when it comes to infrastructure. So less than 8 months to 9 months, they go almost 75% between Segepi and Tabata. So I got a faith in the hope. And I just told you, every time I meet the president, His Excellency, President Joseph Yuma Boyka, that's the only thing I can put in front. But then see me say, oh, so don't worry, you'll get ruled. Let us continue to pray. And we'll continue to pray. Today, if Grand Jude road pay, today Tuesday, Thursday after session, I can get to my car and go straight. I can get what the people in the hall are not coming. I eat Tucson. I eat Redwood. I eat Sleton. You understand? I eat Barberton. I eat Gwenstown. I eat Bearstown. We want for those things to happen to us too. Our vacation shouldn't be only abroad. Our vacation shouldn't even be in Europe, America, Asia. Our Dubai must be our own villages. You get $10, go and build your $10 house. You will see it as if I'm Dubai to yourself. That much those people play to build their countries. That commitment, that sincerity, that passion. So some of us, we have passion for our country. So we pray that some of our friends and colleagues, all of us will get that same passion to build our country. So whosoever in the future now become president, your first and foremost thing will be infrastructure development.
Well, lastly, before we take leave of you, in terms of the fight against drugs in the country, how do you see the approach at the moment? Though we have a new LDA officer, and just to give you a hint, just now we just received the news that there was this fellow who was arrested during the Abraham Krumata, one original Japan, has been sentenced to 20 years in prison. How do you view the fight against drugs currently?
Well, to be frank with you, there are things that really used to bother some of us. Because there's no man or woman are born a child that will see such a thing in your community. Because our children, they are our future saving account. You can get millions or billions in your bank. The government can black it in your mini and you sleep with home. But when you get child, you get children, those people can stand by you anytime. Those people can save you anytime. So if drugs will spoil the young children, some of us will find our aid. But we do not have enforcement power. Today, the breaking news that you're giving me, if I was someone who could drink, I'm going to go and drink part of wine tonight and sleep. At least the justice system make you proud. It will make those drug dealers afraid that if you went to Liberia to go sell, when they catch you, you'll go to jail for 20 years. And I'm appealing to the president, whosoever that caught and sentenced by the judicial branch, they shouldn't pardon nobody. Like 20, 30 years, let them serve that term in jail. That will serve as a deterrent. But you carry somebody come with $100 million worth of drugs and you say the person goes car-free, it makes the people flowing drugs in our country. So I appreciate the judge that took that decision. Please, if the drug dealer, lawyer, appeal to reduce the sentence, to appeal to Supreme Court,
yeah.
I am asking the Supreme Court, please, let our children be safe. That's all I can say. The right thing should be done.
Okay. What his Senator Zoe Mapiano, he has been serving the legislature, specifically from the lower house, for over 15 years, and now he is at the Senate. One of the ranking members here at the level of the Liberian Senate, long serving as well, here at the level of the legislature. He has been speaking to the issue about rules. He was just quite recently in Grand Jide talking about